So don't worry about SEO. Yeah, this is the topic of this video, and I have talked about this in the past that you should not worry about the SEO in case you want to do something online. Let us say you are a freelancer, or maybe you're doing something where you want other people to know what you are doing. So have a website and share your content on different platforms, maybe on YouTube, or maybe on your blog, or maybe you want to do podcasting. I mean, the medium is not really the important part here. I mean, depending upon what you are trying to do, you will, I'm sure you will choose the right medium. But what I wanted to talk about is don't worry about SEO at all. But in case you want to drive traffic to, let us say, your website. Let us say you have a website, and you and by the way, I think everyone should have a website. I believe in owning your own data. I have a website. I have, in fact, a couple of websites of my own, my personal blogs, where I share all my content, but I do syndicate it on other sites. So on my channel, on this channel, you will find a lot of videos and a lot of content on my blog, where I talked about this concept of indie web, which I really follow. Now, I wanted to basically talk about today, in case you do care about SEO, in case you want to drive traffic to your website, for example, what all you can do. I understand that for some of you, or I think most of you, I guess, care about SEO. Maybe you want your site to appear on the first page on maybe Google or other popular search engines, for example, maybe Bing or DuckDuckGo, maybe Yahoo. I don't know if people use Yahoo anymore. Anyways, so let us talk about some points, and I have a list of those things that I was making based on my own experience. And I'm not really an expert on SEO, but I have been doing these things for many years. I have been maintaining websites, my own websites. I was a developer. I was running a web development company, and we used to build websites in Drupal. So I have some experience. I don't really want to say that I'm not really qualified, but at the same time, I'm not really an expert on SEO. So all these things that I'm trying to share, they are based on my experience. And if you're like me, then I think, or if you follow me, or if you're following my channel, and if you think whatever I'm doing makes sense to you, then I hope you can also relate to it. So number one, post regular content. Now, if you're talking about a website, then definitely post blogs. And I don't really have to tell you what kind of blogs you should be posting. Of course, it is based on, it should be related to what you're doing. If, let us say, you are into gardening, and gardening is all you do, all you care about, and maybe you have some services that you want to sell to others. Maybe you want to sell your gardening services, or maybe you just liked doing gardening and you want people to come to your website or read your articles, or maybe you do DIY, for example, or maybe you do something in electronics and you want people to come to your website. It could also mean that they are coming to the website to seek professional help. So when people are coming to your website, you might get benefits. So it can only happen when you have content on your website. So write regular content. Number two, I think, based on my own personal experience, I think having more than one website is always good. So have one website for yourself, like maybe by your own name, if you want to know people about you with your name. But maybe have another website for your brand, or maybe another website of yours. So having two websites is probably good, because when you have two websites and you're posting something on both of them, then you have more chances of people coming to your websites. So more than one website. I think it really worked for me. Now I talked about different mediums like blogs, videos, and podcasts. I think if you are only into writing, or if you are only into making videos, or if you are only a podcaster, I think having a mix of everything is always important. And having a website is definitely important, the most important aspect. You may not be posting a lot of blogs as compared to videos on YouTube, but if you have presence on different mediums, your own platforms. I mean, of course, for the website, it is of course your own platform. For videos, I can imagine that it is not really feasible to have videos posted on your own website. It will consume the bandwidth, and YouTube is probably better. So have your presence on different mediums. Uh, Point number 4 is syndicate. Now, if you are, let us say, writing a blog, uh, try to share it elsewhere. Maybe post it on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit. Don't spend too much time on it. What I do, I try to automate things wherever I can. And there are plenty of, I mean, if you're using a standard CMS like WordPress or Drupal, and I'm sure every CMS has some kind of a module for doing this syndication for you. Or what you can do is you can also use Zapier, for example. Zapier is really good. What Zapier can do, it can read new items from your RSS feed. So that is also my next point. Having this RSS feed will really help you. Not because you can do automation, but also people can subscribe to your content. So that is point number 5. Next point, which is I believe point number 6, is uh, when you're writing blogs, use keywords that you want to target. Don't try to use keywords that are very specific to what you do. Don't use broad terms because that might not work. So use keywords that you think will work for you really well, and of course spend some time. For example, if you provide gardening in a specific area or in a specific town, a small town, then use that town name uh, in your content. So at least you know that people searching within that area will find you, and you have more chances of ranking, because ranking works not just for one keyword. It works for combination of keywords. So for example, if you just type gardening on Google or any search engine, you have very less chance to reach on the number 1 page. But if you do something like gardening in uh, Delhi, or even gardening in Delhi is also a very broad term, but gardening in Delhi and maybe North Delhi, or maybe the specific area where you live, and gardener in Shalimar Bagh or gardener in Lawrence Road, use those. Try to narrow down your keywords and the combination of those keywords so that people can find you. And in the beginning, it will help you a lot. And also at the same time, use a variation of keywords. As I mentioned before, uh, use keywords that you think will help you. But at the same time, if you want to, let us say, target a new town, then start using those uh, town names in your keywords. For example, when I was in India, I used to provide Jira trainings all across India. And whenever I used to go to a new city, let us say Chennai or Bangalore, I mean, I went to these cities for the very first time, and it was wonderful. I learned so many things. So I always used to click pictures and post them on my blog, and I used to share my experience. So instead of just promoting yourself directly, like okay, I do Jira trainings or I do Jira consultation, I was sharing my experience, just a story with, of course, some keywords here and there. So have this variation of content and also the keywords. So the whole content that you're trying to share doesn't really seem, I mean, you should not make it too obvious that you're trying to sell, and that is it you're doing. If you want to sell something, if you want to maybe sell your services, or if you want people to come to your site and seek professional help, then try to do it gradually. Don't make your website like I mean, you should try to connect with people on a personal level. If you are, of course, a small business or a freelancer, or if you're doing something on your own, then write content where you can maybe share your experience, and in between, of course, use those keywords so people can relate to you, and they can also reach out to you in case they think they need your help. Now the next point is, I don't really know the count. I think it is like 1 2 3 4 5 6. So point number 8. So remember that the ranking will change if you don't update your site regularly. Now, let us say you're on number 1 page, maybe the top position on Google for a specific keyword or a combination of keyword. That will not stay like this forever. If you don't update your site for a long time, your rankings will go down, and it might even disappear completely. So keep on posting things. It can be a small note. For example, what I do on my website ravisagar.in, I post something on a regular basis, and of course, whenever I post something, like for example, I interact with Twitter using the Indie Web Drupal module. So everything is on my website. So even if I'm replying to someone on Twitter, it is going to the website first. So I always look for these opportunities where I can add maybe a small note on the website. And the next point is, I think the point number 9 is that generate a sitemap if possible. If you're using our CMS like Drupal or WordPress, I believe these CMSs, I know for Drupal it is the case that you can use a module to generate a sitemap. There is a module called XML sitemap, and it can generate a wonderful XML sitemap for you. But for every other CMS, I'm sure there is something similar, and you can actually you can actually submit the sitemap to these different search engines, and those search engines will first look in your sitemap for new content. And even if you don't have a sitemap, even if you are just maintaining your own website in HTML, then like I do, I have a couple of sites which I only maintain in HTML, and I manage them using org mode in Emacs. I do have a page, like index of all the blogs, for example. So having this page or some kind of a sitemap is, I think, really helpful. And okay, so how many points? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 on 9. I think 9 points. So I think these are all the points that I wanted to cover. But I do have one more important point. Point number 10, or tip number 10, whatever you want to call it. Do not worry about SEO at all. Again, yeah, I did give you these tips. I did talk about these different things that might help you in getting traffic to your website, and it might also help you with the ranking. But in the end, do whatever you like doing, enjoy your work, and that is the only way to keep going without burning out. So if you are trying to share something online, I think you can only do it for a long time if you really like doing it. So in the end, I would say, don't worry about the SEO at all. If you're following these, I shared these things, and I think in a way, if you just focus on writing content or making content, I think that is all you need to do. I think you're probably covered. I think 95% of the things are covered, are done if you just share things regularly. Rest of the things are, I think, not massively important. If you keep them in your mind, then I think that will help you. But I would say in the end, again, don't worry about SEO. Do what you love, do what you enjoy doing, and stay happy. So these are all the things that I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and you also learned something new today. Thank you very much.